All right, I'm back. Now, this is another video on Brian Banks. I actually have never seen this video. There is a video of Brian Banks doing an interview with Jason Whitlock. I'm pretty sure that one's interesting. Never seen that one either, but I was just trying to see if I can find an interview where Brian Banks is actually talking to men. And that's a really hard find, but I'm gonna dive into why I believe Brian Banks has been avoiding talking to black men.
Brian, tell us how you got the wherewithal to be your own best advocate. Because taking nothing away from the defense team and everything the Innocence Project does, I'm a lawyer too, it's great work. But you really were your own best advocate. Tell us how you navigated that.
I am a firm believer that no one will work harder for you than you in the things that you want in life. And I found myself in a cell, rotting away, and I hadn't seen my case file the entire time that I had been incarcerated up until probably 3 years into the 6-year sentence.
Did you ask? Is that how did you first see it?
So what happened was this woman who made the false accusation sued the school district for lack of security on our campus.
Impossible. Okay. I mean, it's a new era. I don't know. Let's go.
$1.5 million in a settlement. During that time that they were suing, there was a deposition that took place. They came to the prison. They pulled me out of my cell to conduct this deposition. And after the deposition, the attorneys for the school district pulled me to the side and said, "You got railroaded to the max. And I want you to know, we made many attempts to reach a lawyer to help you fight this case. She ignored us. And I'm really sorry for what you've been through." And about 2 weeks later, I got random legal mail in prison, and it was my case file. The school district attorney sent it to me, and I didn't know it was even coming. And I remember sitting in the cell, middle of the night when my cellie was asleep. Obviously I had a high-risk case that nobody knew about. And I'm reading my file for the first time, and I'm seeing all the things that were done and all the things that were not done. And that was the first moment that I said to myself, I'm gonna start to fight this on my own. I had no money, I had no resources, I had no attorney. So I started going to the law libraries within the prison. I started doing all the research and case laws and penal codes and all that different stuff. And I actually filed my own writ of habeas corpus on my own in the beginning.
Wow.
It was approved on the first pass for an order to show cause, which means if you come into court, show us the evidence. If the evidence is accurate enough, we'll give you an opportunity for either retrial or we will dismiss your case altogether.
Right. Yeah.
So I go, and I had no money, so they appoint me to this court-appointed attorney. This court-appointed attorney gave me false information about what could happen if I went along with this. And I was not aware of that what he was saying was true or not, so I withdrew the appeal. Went back to prison, finished my time. Then once I got home and I paroled home, I reached out to the California Innocence Project. And this, I think, was the second time that I had reached out to them. They denied me the first time and the second time because the witness in my case needed to recant their story. The only witness was the person who accused me. Right. And at that time, I was like, how that would never happen. So I started pretty much kind of doing the work myself, continuously just trying to find new ways to get my case back in court. And then eventually, as you said, I'm at home, bored online, looking for a job. So I get on Facebook, I notice I had a friend request, and the box drops down, and it's the woman who accused me 9 years ago. Now, friend requested me on Facebook, trying to be friends, which, to make a very long story.
See, now they're getting uncomfortable because they don't want to address the fuckery, and they've been holding their mouths pretty shut for most of the time because they know his story's fucked up, but they ain't asking the real good questions, and they've been avoiding asking him good questions. So now you're gonna see them get all hot and bothered and shit.
I use that opportunity to play chess and not checkers. Instead of cursing her out and telling her how I really felt, I decided to set up a meeting between the two of us at a private investigation firm where I was successful at recording her recanting and telling the truth about what happened.
That's so brilliant.
Then I took that tape back to the California Innocence Project, and I explained to them, I know I'm not in prison, but every day that I have to live as a registered sex offender, every day that I'm on parole, every day that I have to live with this hanging over my head, I'm forever incarcerated. And they understood that. So I was the first case that they took on where the defendant was no longer in prison.
Okay, and again, this proves my point to where, they just kind of talk over just kind of like the common sense, the common knowledge. Yeah, we already know that he did the interview with the alleged accuser. He had to register as a sex offender and all that stuff. But I think the reason why Brian Banks only does interviews or does most of these interviews with black females is because he has a mommy complex. And I know I'm going to get heat for this, but deep down in his mind, he probably wished it was a white girl that fucked him up, because it's hurting his ego of women around him probably to even say that, hey, he wasn't just falsely accused by one black female. He was falsely accused by that female's own mother. So you have a chain of really two women gunning over you to fuck your life up. This wasn't just one person. This was two. This was a $1 million scheme to fuck you over, to fuck the school over. And he needs to make this movie to correct the wrong that he probably thought in his head, to where he was probably like, hey man, fuck all these bitches, they're fucking me over, they're no good. But because this dude's I guess what you would call a son husband, he has to rectify and fix a damaged reputation. Because honestly, for the most part, most people, when you think of false allegations and lies and all that shit, especially for a football player of his caliber, you would have just thought it was a white girl. And even though this case happened in 2002, damn nearly 2 decades ago, we still have this notion of this Emmett Till complex, to where we still want to say that, oh, this is a white woman's game. Only white women falsely accuse black men because, black women, they don't like calling cops. They'll use those little stupid statistics to where I've heard arguments of black women, they don't falsely accuse black men because it's not going to be believable. And then the other argument is that black men get their ass whooped so much by the cops and police that, why would someone even be that sick in the head to even come to, I don't know, I forgot the word I'm trying to use, but create a story like that. And this is what gets brothers fucked up, because I'm so tired of brothers getting fucked up and them not realizing that anybody can fuck your career up. Anybody can do it, regardless of the skin tone, regardless of where they're from or who their mother is. They'll fuck you up. They'll fuck you over. And this is, and I'll probably say another thing that I've noticed. I've never seen this dude with his father. I don't even know if his father is in his life or if he died, or they're not on speaking terms. I've never seen a reaction from his father. I don't even know who his father is. You really just see him talking about his mom all day, or his time incarcerated. And a lot of these females, even the females doing the interview, They can't even gully up the nerve to talk about what I'm talking about because they want to ask. They really do want to ask, how do you feel? How do you feel knowing that the person that fucked you over was another black woman? This was a woman you grew up with, you was friends with, and her own mother worked together to fuck your life up. See, they're too afraid to ask those questions, and he is too. He is too, because he wants. That's why he's so close to his mother, because he has to create this cognitive dissonance that it was a fluke. It was a fluke, and he's doing all these interviews with women, and even in his own movie, he created a female character that was fighting for him that never existed. So that's a complex that he is battling, to where he has to prove that him being falsely accused by another black woman was a fluke. It was a fluke in the system. It was a crack in the matrix, a glitch in the matrix. This was a crack in the system.